The digital clocks on 1,000 Israeli air defense consoles flickered to 3:14 on September 13, 2025, a time that would henceforth be seared into the memory of a nation not by the ringing of an alarm, but by a silence so profound and so sinister it was louder than any explosion, the silence of a sky that had, for decades, been meticulously watched and guarded, suddenly turning hostile. Not from the usual vectors in Gaza, Lebanon, or Syria, but from the deep south, from the vast and seemingly placid expanse of the Arabian Peninsula, where the state of Qatar, in an act of retaliatory fury so swift and so devastating it rewrote the rulebook of modern Middle Eastern warfare in a single, bloody stroke, launched its unprecedented and crushing response to the Israeli strike days prior. A response that bypassed all conventional wisdom and geopolitical prognostication to deliver a message of raw power that would echo across the globe, that the era of unilateral action without consequence was over. This was not a haphazard volley of scattered rockets. It was a meticulously orchestrated symphony of destruction, the opening movement of which was a massive, coordinated cyber-electronic attack that targeted the very eyes and ears of the Israeli Defense Forces, a digital blitzkrieg employing cutting-edge jamming technology and malware of a sophistication never before encountered, flooding Israeli radar arrays with phantom signals, creating a digital fog of war so thick that for 7 critical minutes, the world's most advanced integrated air defense system, the famed Iron Dome, David's Sling, and Arrow networks, was effectively blind, its operators staring in horror at screens showing 1,000 false contacts blooming from every direction, a terrifying hall of mirrors designed to conceal the single, real, and utterly lethal threat now streaking towards them from the sea. That threat materialized in the form of a mixed salvo of advanced munitions, a testament to Qatar's years of quiet, massive military investment, and its deepening strategic partnership with Turkey and other powers. From hidden launch sites dug deep into the Qatari desert, a first wave of Turkish-made TRG-300 Tiger ballistic missiles, known for their pinpoint accuracy and heavy payload, roared into the upper atmosphere, their parabolic trajectories calculated to rain down on key Israeli airbases like Ramon, Nevatim, and Hatzerim, the very homes of the squadrons that had attacked Doha, while simultaneously, from the pitching deck of a Qatari Emiri Navy vessel disguised as a commercial freighter in the Red Sea, a volley of Chinese-made YJ-12B anti-ship cruise missiles, reconfigured for land attack, screamed northwards just meters above the wave tops, skirting the Saudi and Jordanian coasts with terrifying precision, their target not a city, but the critical strategic infrastructure of the Israel Defense Forces, the central command and control bunker at the Kiryat in Tel Aviv, and the intelligence hub of Unit 8200 at Glilit. The third and most shocking element of the attack was the revelation of a capability intelligence agencies had long feared but never confirmed: the deployment of the Russian-made 3M-22 Zircon hypersonic cruise missile, acquired by Qatar in a shadowy deal years prior and kept in absolute secrecy, traveling at speeds exceeding Mach 8. These weapons represented an existential threat that existing Israeli defenses were simply not designed to counter, their plasma shrouds making them virtually invisible to radar as they descended upon their targets in a blistering, unstoppable dive, their goal to shatter the hardened aircraft shelters and runways that formed the backbone of the Israeli Air Force's strength. The first impacts were not explosions but seismic events. The Zircons struck Nevatim Airbase first, their kinetic energy alone enough to vaporize reinforced concrete, punching through hangar roofs and detonating with such force that F-35 Adir stealth fighters, worth hundreds of millions of dollars each, were tossed like toys, their unique radar-absorbent skin shredded, their advanced avionics melted into slag. The runways transformed into a moonscape of craters and molten asphalt that would take months, if not years, to repair. Seconds later, the Tiger ballistic missiles began to land, their warheads specifically designed for runway denial and area suppression, scattering submunitions across vast swathes of the tarmac and destroying fuel depots and maintenance hangars in secondary explosions that lit the desert night with a false, horrifying dawn, while the cruise missiles, arriving last, weaved through the now chaotic air defense envelope. Their pathfinding made easier by the destruction already wrought, several slamming into the periphery of the Curia complex, shaking the very foundations of Israeli military command and sending a plume of dust and debris over the heart of Tel Aviv, a psychological blow as powerful as any physical damage. In the aftermath, as the electronic fog lifted and the scale of the devastation became horrifyingly clear to the reeling Israeli command, the world watched in stunned silence, realizing that the calculus of power in the Middle East had just been fundamentally and violently altered. Qatar, a nation often dismissed as a mere mediator or a bankroller of proxies, had demonstrated a shocking conventional military capability and, more importantly, the will to use it directly against one of the world's most powerful militaries, proving that its sovereignty was not a notion to be violated without incurring a cost more terrible than anyone had imagined. The repercussions were instantaneous and global. Oil prices skyrocketed as markets panicked about the stability of the entire Persian Gulf. The United States, caught between its ironclad alliance with Israel and its critical military presence at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, faced an impossible diplomatic nightmare. Forced to condemn the attack while desperately trying to prevent a full-scale regional war that now seemed terrifyingly inevitable. And in Tehran, Damascus, and Beirut, celebrations mixed with frantic preparations, as Iran and its allies saw an unprecedented opportunity to strike at Israel that was, for the first time in its history, visibly bloodied and its aura of invincibility shattered, its military bases smoldering, its technological superiority bypassed, and its strategic position more vulnerable than at any point since 1973, all because a smaller nation, pushed beyond the brink, had chosen to unleash its own powerful missiles in a night of fire that changed everything.